Whilst we conduct this plan, I'm very grateful to friends who have come here from up and down the country, from every major city in the United Kingdom who have come here today, and we welcome you here in London today. Can I firstly welcome our chief guest today, the Foreign Minister of Pakistan, Shah Mahmood Qureshi Sahab, His Excellency, also the President of Azad Jammu Kashmir, my co-host this evening,
Hassan?
मैं करूँगा, सब करूँगा, चेयरमैन WCOP Naeem Sahab, Mushahid Hussain Sahab, Chair of the Senate Foreign Affairs Select Committee, Chaudhry Yasin Sahab, Opposition Leader. There are many members of Parliament here, and I welcome all of them as well, and my friends from the House of Lords, from the parliamentary state and abroad. Can I also welcome all dignitaries that have come from very far today. Friends, today's program is slightly short, so I apologize in advance. Not everybody will be able to speak. I know we have 14 honourable senators here today as well, and many of my comrades and colleagues from Parliament, but because in terms of speaking. But I think the starting point is this, that we come here today to show solidarity and unity. We have seen over the last few days. Today we unite in this hall in London for this Kashmir exhibition and conference. We saw earlier today a demonstration outside the mother of all parliaments. We've also seen yesterday, which the Foreign Minister attended, one of the largest conferences in Parliament around the issue of Kashmir. And all together we come together, we unite. And we unite for one purpose. And that is to send a very sisters in Kashmir do not stand alone. We stand with them, and we stand against the persecution, the oppression and the injustice that they continue to face. And we in the British Parliament have made some significant progress over the last few years. I'm also joined here today by my colleague Debbie Abrahams, who is the chair of the All-Party Parliamentary Group, and she will shortly speak for 1 minute or 1 or 2 minutes to update on the work of the All-Party Parliamentary Group. But let me be clear, and let this message be sent on this, the arrival of the Foreign Minister, the President, other major dignitaries from Pakistan. We want a peaceful resolution. We want all the parties to be sat around the table so that we can find a peaceful resolution to this age-old issue. And we want to make sure that that language of peace, and in that regard, I want to thank the Foreign Minister, the government of Pakistan for the language of friendship, the initiatives of peace that we have seen over the last few weeks, because I think that is a massive change in terms of the direction. But the burning issue remains, because the first thing we need is the human rights violations the atrocities, the persecution, oppression, injustice, maiming, rape. We need that to stop in the first instance, and that is what this Solidarity Day is, to ask the international community to ask for this injustice, grave injustice against humanity, to be stopped immediately. The second issue is the one around self-determination, and this issue is one that will require more work, and the ultimate decision is for the sons and daughters of Kashmir to make that decision. I again thank all the dignitaries that have come here today. If Barrister Sultan Mahmood Saab is in the audience, he is also expected here today, but I don't know if he is, and he is welcome also. Again, can I ask everybody, we only have a few speeches today, please, we ask for your patience, but thank you to everybody who has come today. Thank you very much.
Debbie from All Parties Parliamentary Group, if she would be speaking briefly for a minute to show your opinion.
Good evening, salam alaikum. Can I once again extend a very warm welcome to Foreign Minister Qureshi and to all the honoured guests. It is a real pleasure to see you all here today on Kashmiri Solidarity Day. As I've been introduced, I'm the chair of the all-party group in Parliament on Kashmir. The reason I got involved in this group was, apart from many of my constituents coming from Kashmir, was the appalling human rights abuses that I was being told about. I hope many of you will have taken the trouble to look around the exhibition here today, which highlights the issues that ordinary people in Jammu and Kashmir are experiencing. My committee set up a human rights inquiry which published our findings and our recommendations last year. And at the same time, the United Nations also undertook their inquiry into human rights abuses. And our recommendations and the UN's recommendations are so important in making the way forward, taking the issues the Kashmiris are facing on a day-to-day basis, taking them forward. And as Imran has said, the important thing is, for us to be successful, it needs a political will, it needs diplomacy, it needs a process of peace and reconciliation, bringing together the administrations from Pakistan-administered Kashmir, from India-administered Kashmir, with the Pakistan and Indian governments, with ordinary Kashmiris, to determine a way forward. The UK government must not shirk its responsibilities and the responsibilities that they have to act in this way. But the whole international community, from the UN, from the Commonwealth, also need to take an active part as well. It's a small step forward, but I believe we can do it. And with the will, with your goodwill, with the will of everybody here, we can succeed. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Now, to commemorate today's commemoration ceremony, I'm requesting all of you to observe 60 seconds of silence to pay tribute to all those who lost their lives in the struggle for freedom. So, 60 seconds of silence. I will request my honorable guests to stand up, and 60 seconds of full silence to honor the martyrs of Indian-occupied Kashmir.
Silence, please.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, all of you, for honoring the martyrs of Indian-occupied Kashmir. Now, moving forward with our ceremony and commemoration, we have representatives from all three major parties, from the British House of Commons, House of Lords. We have Lord Hassan with us, who will be speaking only briefly for a minute to represent the British House of Lords.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Your Excellency, the Foreign Minister of Pakistan, Your Excellency, the High Commissioner of Pakistan, Senators, Members of Parliament, Members of House of Lords, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and a very good afternoon to you all. I'm being asked to speak for a minute or two to show my solidarity with the Kashmiri people. I, as a member of the British House of Lords, can tell you the all-party parliamentary group on Kashmir is very concerned about the human rights situation in Indian-held Kashmir. We know the United Nations Human Rights Commission has produced a report, and many other organizations such as OIC, Amnesty International, and other organizations have also reported grave human rights violations in Indian-held Kashmir. We are concerned that the Indian Army is engaged in illegal detentions, killings, rapes, and all sorts of atrocities, including torture in that part of the world. We condemn those atrocities, and we stand united against these brutalities with the Kashmiri people, and we will continue to support them until they get their right of self-determination. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lord Hassan. Today's commemoration ceremony is historic for a reason. It's being hosted and organized by the British Pakistani diaspora from the United Kingdom and all across the UK and EU. We have a very special guest who flew thousands of miles to be here. He has been a former senior minister in the AJK government. We'll be requesting Yassin, Leader of Opposition, Chaudhry Muhammad Yassin, to speak briefly to the audience.
अहमदु व नसल्ली अला रसूलिल करीम अम्मा बाद फ़ौज़ बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम। निहायती मोहतरम वज़ीर ख़ारजा पाकिस्तान जनाब मखदूम शाह महमूद कुरैशी साहब, निहायती मोहतरम सेनेटर मुशाहिद हुसैन सैयद साहब, सेनेटर शहरी रहमान साहिबा, सेनेटर शिबली फराज साहब, सदर आज़ाद रियासत जम्मू और कश्मीर जनाब सरदार मसूद खान साहब, साबिक़ वज़ीर आज़म आज़ाद कश्मीर बैरिस्टर सुल्तान महमूद साहब, चौधरी इमरान हुसैन साहब, मेंबर पार्लियामेंट, लॉर्ड कुर्बान हुसैन साहब, मेंबर पार्लियामेंट, मेंबर हाउस ऑफ द लॉर्ड्स, मेरे नहायती मोहतरम बुजुर्गों, भाइयों, दोस्तों, अस्सलाम वालेकुम। Ladies and gentlemen, I shall be brief as possible, as I believe that everybody especially came to listen to the Honorable Foreign Minister of Pakistan. I myself thank him for raising the voice for Kashmiri people in last year in the United Nations General Assembly, and especially they came here to express the solidarity with the innocent people of Kashmir, as this day, 5th of February, was being observed by the former Prime Minister of Pakistan, Mohtarama Benazir Bhutto Shaheed, when she was Prime Minister officially. And since then, this day has been observed not only in all cities of Azad Kashmir, Pakistan, but all over the world, wherever Pakistanis and Kashmiris are living. So I don't have the words to thank this delegation for sparing their precious moments and coming here to express their solidarity with the people, innocent people of Jammu and Kashmir. Ladies and gentlemen, our case is very simple. we were being promised by the United Nations, the international community, and the first Indian Prime Minister after the independence from the British Empire, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, who pledged before the United Nations that we will give the people of Jammu and Kashmir the right of self-determination through a free, fair and impartial plebiscite, which never happened. And he categorically said that we do not believe in forced marriages. And the people of Jammu and Kashmir, we are unable to understand one thing, that when the resolutions of the United Nations and the international promises are being implemented elsewhere in the world, whether it's East Timor, it's Sudan, Iraq, Afghanistan, Kuwait, Yugoslavia, why there's a double standard on Kashmir? This thing we are unable to understand. We are peace-loving people, and the people of Kashmir are facing the brutalities of 700,000 Indian troops which have been deployed in Jammu and Kashmir, who are fighting for their indigenous right of self-determination, which was being promised and never happened. So I appeal to the British government and the British Parliament. Sorry, I couldn't name Honourable Member of Parliament Debbie Abraham, who has recently been elected as chairman of the All Parties Kashmir group, and who always has spoke very highly for the people of Kashmir. So I appeal to all peace-loving people world over, and especially the British government and the British politicians, to help us to resolve this issue, because this issue was being left unresolved by the last days of British Empire. And I believe that it is a moral obligation of the British politicians, British government, to help us to resolve this issue. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much. And we have one more honourable guest representing Azad Jammu and Kashmir, the former Prime Minister AJK, Barrister Sultan Mahmood, who is also representing a political party, but mainly wanting to stand with the people of Indian-occupied Kashmir.
Members of Parliament, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I am grateful to Imran Chaudhry and all others who have organized this reception in honor of Shah Mahmood Qureshi Sahab. First of all, I am very grateful to Excellency Shah Mahmood Qureshi Sahab that we have been expressing our solidarity to the people of Kashmir for last 71 years. It was his initiative this time that we are here in London and expressing solidarity with the people of occupied Kashmir. I have a dual role this time. Being a Pakistani, I express solidarity and I salute to the people of occupied Kashmir who are struggling against 700,000 Indian troops. And being a Kashmiri, I am grateful to all the Pakistanis and all those who believe in human rights, human dignity, social justice, and the right of self-determination, that they are expressing solidarity with the people of Kashmir. The people of occupied Kashmir are struggling for last 71 years, but since 8 July 2016, there is a spontaneous, democratic, and indigenous movement in occupied Kashmir, whereas Indians are using the rape as war of weapon. They are using pellet guns to blind the youth and the children in occupied Kashmir. But we are here to salute the people that still they are struggling against 700,000 troops. So this is a high time that yesterday we expressed the solidarity from the British Parliament, and today, this evening, we are expressing from here, 5th of February, to the people of occupied Kashmir. Now, and they are simply demanding the implementation of United Nations resolutions, which clearly says the future of Kashmir has to be determined according to the free will and the power and the aspirations of the people of Kashmir. And I think now the time has come that international focus is on Kashmir. United Nations Commission for Human Rights has passed the report in last June, and on 30th of October, British Parliament has also passed the report on the violation of human rights in occupied Kashmir. On 19th of February, there is hearing on occupied Kashmir in the European Parliament. So the focus is already there, and I think this is a responsibility of all Pakistanis and Kashmiris, wherever they are in the world, to support the right of self-determination of the people of Kashmir, condemn Indian atrocities in occupied Kashmir, and focus the international community on Kashmir issue. And I very much hope the world is recognizing the problem, and soon the people of Kashmir will get the right of self-determination and inshallah will become the part of Pakistan.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be just briefly stopping the program until we have some order in this hall. Please observe silence. We are here to pay tribute to the martyrs of Kashmir. So people on the back, please, silence. Silence, please. Many thanks. Now, to proceed with the program, we are inviting His Excellency, the High Commissioner of Pakistan to the United Kingdom, Nafiz Zakriya, to share his.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. A very good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, your presence over here is an expression of solidarity with the Kashmiris who are being brutalized in the Indian-occupied Kashmir. With your permission, the Honorable Prime Minister, may I just reflect on something about today's event. I would like to first express my gratitude to the organizer of this exhibition, WCOP, and of course the Honorable Member of Parliament, Mr. Imran, and all those who have supported in putting this exhibition together. While coming to this stage, we have all passed through a number of pictures which represent and reflect on the atrocities which are being perpetrated against the defenseless, innocent Kashmiris in Indian-occupied Kashmir. But what you have seen on your way to this stage or to this hall in the shape of pictures, where there are just 60 or 70 of them, they are just a fraction of the number of people, of the number of victims of the brutalities of Indian occupation forces in Indian-occupied Kashmir. As you all know, that we have gathered here, this exhibition, the objective of this exhibition and the event that was held yesterday was to express our solidarity with the oppressed people of Jammu and Kashmir in Indian occupied Kashmir against the brutalities to which they are subjected for the last 7 decades. Yesterday, all the speakers, they have expressed their views, and also what you have seen in the pictures behind you in the exhibition is not just a reflection of atrocities which are being perpetrated against on daily basis with impunity against the people of Jammu and Kashmir in Indian occupied Kashmir, but it is also a reflection of the crimes which are committed against the humanity. It's also a reflection of the war crimes which are being perpetrated by the Indian forces in occupied Kashmir. These atrocities which have been represented yesterday and also today, they are well documented. And those documents have also been named during all the deliberations yesterday, and also we will hear from the speakers today. These documents are not just the reflection of the atrocities or an account of how many people have actually been martyred by the Indian security forces or Indian occupation forces, but it is also a reflection by all definitions of United Nations that these are war crimes and these are the crimes committed against humanity. It is very much required on your part to create awareness among the people of this international community, not just across UK, but all over the world, as to what is happening in Indian occupied Kashmir. That would be a contribution from your side, and that would be a contribution, that would be also your expression of solidarity with the oppressed people. The government of Pakistan, as we have always said, and I reiterate, and the Foreign Minister has also said in many of his speeches and deliberations, extends moral, diplomatic, and political support to the people of Jammu and Kashmir and those people who are the victim of Indian atrocities in occupied Kashmir, and all those who work towards highlighting or make a move towards expressing solidarity. And I am aware there are many people among you, like the parliamentarians of the British Parliament, by the parliamentarians from Pakistan who traveled all the way in an expression of solidarity, like the Kashmiri diaspora over here in UK and all across Europe, as well as in North America and elsewhere. Among them are the people like Mr. Najabat, whom I have seen working day and night towards highlighting the atrocities and the plight of Kashmiris. I salute all these people who are involved in projecting the cause of Kashmir, who are involved in the efforts to highlight the miseries and the plight of Kashmiris, and inshallah we remain committed to that end. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency. We also welcome you back to the United Kingdom. Now, we have a very special guest who flew from all the way from Azad Jammu and Kashmir, who is representing the people of Azad Jammu and Kashmir. Let's welcome with silence and attention to His Excellency Sardar Masood Khan, President of Azad Jammu and Kashmir.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Can I request silence? Can I request silence? ये पीछे जी जो लोग हैं वो दूसरों की मदद से लोगों को खामोश करें. अभी फॉरेन मिनिस्टर साहब भी बोलेंगे. My appeal to all of you to be silent, and I'd request some good Samaritans to perform this duty. पीछे वाले लोगों को कहें जी खामोश. खामोश. Please. Please जी. I appeal to you all to be silent and listen to your speakers, because let me tell you, I have traveled all the way from Muzaffarabad to Islamabad to here in London to speak to you, each one of you individually. So we will, of course, seek the attention of the international community, but before that I seek your attention, your individual attention. Once again, people are still having conversations. The gentleman over there, can you please stop talking? It is common courtesy to listen to your speakers. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Honorable Foreign Minister of Pakistan, Honorable Imran Hussain, who has hosted this event today. It's a spectacular event, and let us respect its dignity, its decorum, because this event has been organized to express solidarity with the suffering people of Indian-occupied Kashmir. It's a solemn moment. It cannot countenance any senseless chatter, because this is a solemn moment in the history of the Indian-occupied Kashmir. While I'm talking to you today, and this past week, and this past year, and several years, and for 71 years, Kashmiris have been murdered and killed brutally. So there was a moment of silence of 60 seconds. But let me tell you that Kashmiris deserve a prolonged silence and a prolonged struggle for the realization of their right to self-determination. And they need your solidarity. Let me start my remarks by thanking Honorable Imran Hussain for his endeavor in getting together representatives of all walks of life here in the United Kingdom. And I know that many people from distant lands and countries have traveled today to be in this event, from the Nordic countries, from Europe, from the Gulf region. So we need to listen to each other. But thank you so much for organizing this event. I would say thank you, London. Thank you, United Kingdom. Thank you, United Kingdom Parliament. Thank you, the citizens of the United Kingdom, because in these past 2 days, you have fully expressed your solidarity with the people of Jammu and Kashmir, especially the people in the Indian-occupied Kashmir who are suffering under the yoke of 700,000 cruel and brutal armed forces of India. So thank you, London. I want to say thank you, the House of Commons and the House of Lords, because India has imposed a gag order in the Indian-occupied Kashmir. They won't let Kashmiris speak up. They have snatched from them their right to speak, to express their opinion. There is no freedom of expression in Kashmir. But they wanted to impose the same restriction on the British Parliament. And they wanted to impose a gag order on the House of Commons and the House of Lords, and said that the Kashmir event, which was organized by all-party parliamentary group on Pakistan on the premises of the United Kingdom Parliament, should not be held. And the Parliament here said, no, under no circumstances we will stop this event, and you held this event. So congratulations and thank you on behalf of the people of Jammu and Kashmir. I also want to thank the diaspora community, the redoubtable diaspora community of the United Kingdom, who have been striving for the right to self-determination of the people of Jammu and Kashmir and asking for an end to egregious human rights violations there year after year and decade after decade. And let me tell you that your efforts, your concerted efforts, are bearing fruit. Congratulations and thank you so much on behalf of the people of Jammu and Kashmir. Let me also tell you that the United Kingdom today is preoccupied with Brexit, and still, as a state, as a parliament, and as common citizens, you decide to give time to Kashmir. There was this unprecedented International Kashmir Conference held yesterday in the House of Commons. There were demonstrations today, robust demonstrations today. There's an exhibition today here, and this event, which is being hosted by Honorable Imran Hussain. Let me also tell you that the 5th of February today is an International Kashmir Solidarity Day, because though we marked the Kashmir Solidarity today here in London, there were demonstrations in Rome and Brescia and Berlin and Paris and Brussels and London and New York and Toronto and Ottawa, the Gulf, the Middle East, and the Asia-Pacific region. So it is truly an International Kashmir Solidarity Day. Let me contrast it with a visit of Narendra Modi 2 days ago to Kashmir, and he went to empty streets and he was roaming around and waving to empty spaces in a boat there. Because Kashmiris say, go India, go back, leave our Kashmir. This is their message.
Go India! Go India! Go India! Go India!
Let me also tell you that it is the resolve of the people of Jammu and Kashmir that no matter how hard the fight is, because they have been fighting for the past 200 years, they will break the chains and shackles of bondage, of slavery and occupation. Let me also tell you that the international community is realizing that now India must be held accountable for its crimes against humanity. Let me also tell you that we appeal to the governments in the Western countries, starting with the United Kingdom, who are custodians of human rights all around the world, must break their eerie silence on Kashmir, because what is happening in Kashmir is the worst human rights crisis in the world today, in this century. Let me thank All-Party Parliamentary Kashmir Group and All-Party Parliamentary Group on Pakistan for their solidarity with the Kashmiris. The APPKG has issued a very comprehensive report, and as I said yesterday in the international conference, let this be an evolving, living document. Let this be transmitted to the United Nations Secretary General, to the High Commissioner for Human Rights. Let it be transmitted to 10 Downing Street, to the Foreign and Commonwealth Office, to the United Nations Security Council. And I'll appeal to the diaspora community. I'll appeal to the diaspora community, at least that part of the community which is still listening to us, that please contact your interlocutors here by telephone, by communications, and by meeting MPs and peers. And here, through this campaign, create a firestorm of protest here against the atrocities which are being committed in the Indian-occupied Kashmir. I would also suggest, I made this proposal yesterday, and it has some resonance, that's why I'm repeating it to you today, to the citizens of the United Kingdom and to the citizens of the world, that let's all start a boycott, divestment, and sanctions campaign and movement against India, so that India is held accountable by the citizens of the world for the crimes that it is committing. If you endorse this proposal, then applaud. If you endorse this proposal, then applaud. We also request the United Nations Secretary General to appoint a special representative on Kashmir. We also appeal to the High Commissioner for Human Rights, Michelle Bachelet, the former president of Chile, to appoint a special rapporteur on Kashmir. Let me also tell you, all of you who are present, and many are here from Kashmir, all the two parts of Kashmir, Azad Kashmir and Indian-occupied Kashmir, that this struggle, which has not reached its destination yet, this has been going on for 200 years. Let me also tell you, very few people know that in this struggle, we have been flayed alive. And therefore, we pay tribute to all those martyrs, particularly 500,000 people who have been killed after 1947. Let me also tell you, very few people are aware of the fact that the people of Indian-occupied Kashmir have suffered their own holocausts and pogroms. I am moving towards the conclusion of my remarks. Let me tell you, can I request silence again, please? Because I'm moving to the operative part of my message. Can I request silence once again, please? And I'll request everybody to listen intently to the remarks which would be made by the Foreign Minister of Pakistan. Please be silent for a while. And thank you so much for cooperating, at least partially. But thank you so much, and what I'm saying is that we, the Kashmiris, are not here to beg for our freedom or liberty or our fundamental rights that we will attain ourselves, because we are giving sacrifices. We are here to remind you of your obligations, because human rights violations or human rights crisis in Kashmir is the responsibility of the entire humanity. It is not just the responsibility of the people of Pakistan or the people of India or the United Nations Security Council. It is your collective responsibility. Let me also give you a message from the people of the Indian-occupied Kashmir and Azad Kashmir. We shall not give up, we shall not surrender, and we shall not capitulate under any circumstances. Kashmiris are giving blood, And let me tell you that we are grateful to the state of Pakistan, which despite multiple challenges, very serious challenges, has been steadfast in its stance on Kashmir. And therefore, thank you, Pakistan. Now it is also the responsibility of the entire international community to give support to the cause of the Kashmiris. My final word is that there is room for diplomacy. We believe that war does not offer a solution. There can't be any military solution. We, in Azad Kashmir, in the Indian occupied Kashmir, the people of Pakistan, the state of Pakistan, we firmly believe that the issue of Jammu and Kashmir can be resolved only through political and diplomatic means. Only through political and diplomatic means. And we are ready for all processes under the Charter of the United Nations, under the United Nations Security Council, aegis, or any other effort which is made to promote conciliation, mediation, negotiations. With this, I thank you, and once again, thank you, London, thank you, United Kingdom.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. We shall not give up, we shall not surrender. I think this message is very solid and very solemn. Thank you very much, Mr. President, for honoring the British Pakistani diaspora and for your presence from Azad Jammu and Kashmir. Now, before I invite our keynote speaker, the Foreign Minister of Pakistan, I have a quick vote of thanks. As Mr. President mentioned, this exhibition, that's the Trail of Tears that you witnessed, that has been organized by Raja Najabat Hussain. We are grateful for all his hard work throughout these months. And to make this program, as Mr. President mentioned, when we rightly acknowledge our brother Imran Hussain, this program has been co-hosted by the World Congress of Overseas Pakistanis, and we are grateful to the chairman, to the Members Board of Governors, and all those who are present from the World Congress of Overseas Pakistanis to make this program happen. Now, getting into the final moment, listening to the keynote speaker, we have the privilege of having here the Foreign Minister of Pakistan, who is a staunch and vocal supporter to the cause of Kashmir. And he's also from my city, so I have double honors. So while we invite our Foreign Minister, His Excellency Shah Mahmood Qureshi, I'll be requesting you to observe full silence and listen to him intently.
UK Pakistan! UK Pakistan! Zindabad!
Excellencies, distinguished dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and good evening. We are gathered here today to salute the courage and the resilience of the people of Indian occupied Jammu and Kashmir, to pay homage to their sacrifices, and to join our voice with others to share their grief, to listen their sorrows. We are privileged to have with us members of the Pakistani Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs, representing the spectrum of political opinion in our upper house of Parliament. The people of occupied Jammu and Kashmir continue to bear with great fortitude untold adversities unleashed by a ruthless and merciless oppressor. A picture, it is said, is worth 1,000 words. You have before you the vivid saga of Indian occupation, the abuse it has entailed, the crimes it has committed, the costs it has brought to bear upon a helpless and helpless population. Kashmiris in Indian occupied Jammu and Kashmir are being brutally and systematically murdered, maimed, and raped for the simple crime of demanding their right of self-determination. A right that has been committed by the international community and by India itself. But India has no intention of honoring its commitments. As the international community stands idly by, India has drawn upon the occupied territories a heavy and opaque iron curtain. Behind the iron curtain, oppression of every conceivable nature goes unabated, unquestioned, and unaccounted. By the reckoning of the Indian state, every civilian in Indian-occupied Kashmir is a terrorist. And the cheapest commodity there is life of a Kashmiri. Brutal crackdowns, curfews, detentions, massacres, target killings, sieges, burn downs, torture, disappearances, rapes, molestations, and fake encounters have not extinguished the flame of freedom, only fueled it further. In 3 decades of the latest uprising, conservative estimates put 100,000 martyred, 145,000 arrested, 23,000 women widowed, 11,111 gang raped or molested, 108,000 children orphaned, and 109,000 structures arson and gutted. I wish to draw your attention towards the unrelenting atrocities, oppression, and torture being faced by the Kashmiri women. Half-widow is a term unique to the Indian-occupied Kashmir context, alluding to married Kashmiri women whose husbands have disappeared and remain missing, their fates unknown. Sexual humiliation and rape remain a favored tool at the hands of the occupation forces. What happened in the villages of Kunan and Poshpura on the cold night on 23rd February 1991 is still alive in the minds and memories of people. In a search and cordon operation, over 100 women were reportedly dishonored. Children too have been victims of unfathomable horrors. An entire generation is growing up traumatized under the dark shadow of targeted attacks, sexual violence, and forced disappearances. In November 2018, Heba, 20-month-old girl from Sufyan in Indian-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, was hit by pellets. Tragically, despite undergoing surgery, she might still lose eyesight in her right eye. Kashmiris are aware that their injuries may not be taken seriously by the international community. The rampant use of pellet guns has destroyed the lives of several thousand Kashmiris, blinding and mutilating them, taking away their eyesight and livelihood. And who can forget the case of 8-year-old Asifa Bano of Katwa, who was abducted, repeatedly gang raped, and ultimately killed. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the tip of the iceberg. It is hard to imagine the true quantum of atrocities being committed. And yet, justice has been elusive all these years, as the Indian Army has continued to exercise barbarism under the umbrella of impunity afforded by the Armed Forces Special Powers Act. This draconian law calls for investigation only if allowed by the government. To date, not a single conviction for any crime perpetrated by the armed forces in Kashmir has taken place. The deteriorating situation in the Indian-occupied Jammu and Kashmir has made it all the more necessary to establish an independent, impartial, and international investigation to assess the situation in the Indian-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Pakistan has repeatedly called for an unbiased investigation into the gross human rights violations in Indian-occupied Kashmir. This is consistent with the report of the United Nations Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights, which confirms the atrocities and calls for the formation of a commission of inquiry to investigate human rights abuses. The OHCHR report on Jammu and Kashmir corroborates the observation of the report of OIC Independent Permanent Human Rights Commission, which also impressed upon the Indian government to provide access to its fact-finding mission. UK All Parties Parliamentary Kashmir Group, in its report on Jammu and Kashmir, has called on the Indian government to undertake a series of measures, including initiating a comprehensive public investigation into the identities of bodies in unmarked graves. Blanket refusal to legitimate scrutiny only raises questions. What is the government of India trying to hide from the international community? Ladies and gentlemen, these pictures and the stories they narrate warrant our consideration and compassion. They cry out for empathy and understanding. They beacon our collective conscience to raise our voices and combine our efforts. They call in short for justice. Let us resolve to stand by our Kashmiri brethren as they seek justice and fulfill their yearning for Azadi. Let us lend them our strength. Let us add our voices to theirs. I thank you. And thank you, Ram.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Thank you very much for honoring the British Pakistan diaspora and for your presence on this historic commemoration ceremony. Today we gather here to think about, to reflect about all the tasha, all the agony that the residents of Indian-occupied Kashmir, they are going through. We are going to now broadcast a documentary that has been specially prepared to deliver this message home, and you can reflect. Thank you very much. We need your attention. We'll be playing a documentary to exhibit the agony and the torture the people of Indian-occupied Kashmir are going through. So we request your attention towards the message. May I request the AV to turn on the documentary.
Telegram and so many others that you can kill the people, abduct them, rape them, burn them, burn homes, do whatever on the same person, they will not even have any children to be prosecuted. Since the occupation, at least 90,000 have lost their lives, and many more have been injured, demanding the right to self-determination. In 2018, an 8-year-old girl had to pay the price for being a Kashmiri Muslim. A Sifa was kidnapped and gang raped in a temple for 8 days. She was later found dead in a dreadful condition. One of the 5 rapists was a police officer, and another a government official belonging to an extremist group backed by the Indian occupation forces. Instead of condemning the incident, rallies were taken out in support of the rapist. Probably an exception in history. Women, especially young girls, in Jammu and Kashmir have always been easy targets. In 2017, at least 200 women were drugged and their braids were chopped by unknown men.
Kashmir has always been it has been used as a war, but the women focus Kashmir. I believe they are the greatest in the world because they are not just people from their homes, but they're going out, they're facing the occupation forces, the body searches every day, the way they go, they take rides on buses, the way they get harassed by the armed and the comments, even the way they stare at us, I call that a rape.
In 2017, a young boy, while going to a funeral, was picked up by the Indian occupying forces and tied to the front of a service jeep. He was driven through 13 villages before he was handed over to a village head in an unconscious condition. This was all done to stop the protesters who planned to protest against the death of 8 innocent Kashmiris killed by the Indian occupation forces. Sadly, the official responsible for this savage act was awarded with gallantry award by the Indian forces rather than being questioned for his sadistic act.
The other day, around 6 Kashmiri youth were crushed dead on the truck just to satisfy